Almost the wrong intro. Pika. We're back. It's me, Brett. This is the show, Pokemon After Darkrai. Oh boy, Sword and Shield Part 2. Wes, it's me and you.
Yep, we're here.
Well, last we left off, I think we got to the fourth gym when we decided to call it last time. So let's pick up there. Gordie, I think, is the fifth gym leader. Is that right?
Oh crap! Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. You know, what are your impressions of the gym at the gyms at this point? Because it's kind of they're kind of starting to fall into like a formula, I guess. Maybe not a formula, but you kind of know what you're kind of expecting at this point. But Gordie is fucking terrible.
I mean, I felt like there needed to be more difficult.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree with that. I didn't start struggling until the last one. But Gordie's challenge was nightmarish.
Refresh me on what his challenge was again.
I believe it is the sandstorm with the holes that you fall through.
Oh, mine was no sandstorm. Mine was ice.
Oh, you're right. It's a snowstorm. My bad. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It was like at that point, I felt like it was faster to just kind of blast through it and just take a hold and then repeat myself faster than trying to use that little device.
I fell through like all of them the first time. And then the second and third, I aced them. I didn't fall, but man, it was annoying when you want to just go.
Like that little thing that you have to use to find the holes was not very reliable.
Oh, by the way, spoilers. Just FYI for any listeners, by now though, for sure, like if you've got Sword and Shield and you're playing through it, you probably already beat it because really it takes me. You could probably beat it in a day if you hardcore just play it all day. But it's been a couple weeks now for sure. But if you don't want spoilers, don't listen.
Yeah, I'm sure one of the unfortunate ones I have to wait till Christmas. But yeah.
My notes. I was taking notes throughout the game. I have to make a brief aside here. At this point in the game, you run into two Pokemon, especially that are the most adorable little bastards I've ever seen in my life, and that's Phalanx and Snom. And I just died. To be clear, Phalanx is a pure fighting type, and it doesn't, like, if you just saw a picture of it, you'd be like, what the hell is that caterpillar looking thing? But actually, it's like, what is it, 6, 4, or 5?
It's like 6 of them in a row, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like little Spartan guys with their little hats and little shields, and they're freaking adorable. And Snom is a little ice bug, like caterpillar, that's really super duper cute. I caught a whole bunch of those things just because I wanted all of them. Apparently I read they were rare spawns, but I saw them everywhere. I didn't have any trouble getting any of them. At this point, like, what is your team looking like, Wes? Is it change? Are you finding yourself changing any, like finding stuff in the wild, or are you just kind of still sticking with the same dudes?
Pretty much sticking with the same dudes for now. I mean, I've leveled a few other people up to help try to offset some other types, but for the most part, it's been pretty set from like early on.
At this point for me, I'm still experiencing problems in the wild area. Like, I'm not getting new raids. I have like one, and I can't beat it. And so they won't refresh. But I will say, like, I did add Phalanx and Snom for a while. just for fun. I did get, thank you to Taylor, I got a Nintendo Online account from her. And the wild area is just completely different when you get on like real online. Like they gated a lot of stuff because as soon as I got online, there were raids everywhere. There were people everywhere zooming around on their bikes. Before, when I didn't have an online account, it was just me and nobody else, and like one raid a day, two raids a day if I could beat them, and it sucked. But man, it was a whole new ballgame. And I'll also say, like the watts you get from the empty dens, like it's only like 200 watts every single time.
Yeah.
So it's like impossible to save up to get wishing pieces or other things. But when you go online, they're freaking everywhere, and you get 2,000 per raid before you even do the raid. And I got no shortage of stuff now thanks to the Nintendo Online. I think it's kind of shitty that they gated it so much, but man, it's a totally different game, and it definitely changed the difficulty of the game too because I got better Pokemon from the raids. And that's another failing with the game, I think, as well, is doing raids.
And it helps that raids it makes it so much easier to level up your Pokemon faster. And the fact that sometimes the raid Pokemon you get's already extremely high level.
Yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely right. The candies, like you can get. I think the first night of having Nintendo Online, me, you, and Taylor got online, and we did just raid after raid after raid. And before it was all said and done, I had a level 100 Bolton. I had level 80, a couple of level 80 dudes. Like it was a breeze, and it actually saved me late game. But I'll say something that's kind of shitty about it is, man, this thing needs the Switch needs voice chat. It really does. We had to go through Messenger and talk through our phones in order to talk to each other because there's no way to send messages that I could find in game to other people to coordinate. Just something to keep in mind. It really needs it. Like we shouldn't have to go outside the game in order to communicate.
Yeah, I mean I think it's more of a platform thing because most people on Switches are younger kids, so they kind of gated the voice, I think, to curb.
I think that's a cop out because there's younger kids with PlayStations and Xboxes too.
It is a cop out, but they're actually. I mean, the Switch is actually geared for younger people, but it does have some older style games for older people too. But it was more.
Well, you're gonna have features in your game where you can interact with other people and what's the word I'm looking for here? Cooperatively do things. It's really hard to do it when you can't communicate. It shouldn't even be up. It shouldn't be up to Nintendo and their kind of archaic online system. It should be up to parents to monitor their kids online and their interactions there. Just saying. Anyway, back to the game. Let's see here. Something that really caught me that made me laugh was, I can't remember what the town's name is, but it's the one where the snow one where you fight Gordie. You have to meet Sonia in basically what's like a family-owned kind of crummy pizza-looking joint. And it just so happens that there's an ancient tapestry from Galar's past there that helps unlock more of the mystery. And I was like, yeah, that's where you would find that, in that pizza joint, for sure. And it seems like Sonia at this point also asks us out. So I'm going with the headcanon that I'm dating Sonia, which I'm all about because she's awesome.
Sorry, Leon, right?
Who? Oh, I ain't dating Leon. What the hell?
No, because it's like her and Leon are the ones always paired together.
Yeah, they don't really have any interactions through most of the game. It was just kind of implied that they used to travel together when they were younger. Like when they did their challenge, like it seemed like they were almost sort of rivals.
Leon around places to, it's kind of like she used her Pokemon to help him around.
Yeah, it seemed like she was the Misty to his Ash. That's what I think that they were kind of going for with that. Why are there so many shirtless dudes in the snow on Route 9? It's something I couldn't help but notice. You had swimmers. It's like
Yeah,
freezing temperatures.
yeah, their own private beach on the friggin' ice beach. Yeah,
At least those people acknowledge that it's so empty because it's so cold. But I couldn't help but laugh because all these people are mostly naked and they're just like, floating around next to an iceberg. But whatever. Route 9 fucking sucks. I hated it. It was the worst route in the game. It was just a monster pain in the ass. You got
oh,
stuff jumping up and around all over the place when you're trying to get around them, the mantikes and all that. You got hail whenever you go into battles. Uh, it was just a
and
pain.
it was one of the longer routes too.
Yeah,
I at least like that because some of the other routes, it's like couple screens and bam, you're there. And
I do like the mantine and mantike like jumping out of the water. I think that's like a neat mechanic. Like you can still catch them through fishing, but like you could also like try and chase them down as they jump up and down out of the water. And I had a hell of a time with that first mantike. I just could not, for whatever reason, get over where he's going to jump out. I kept trying to gauge where he was going to jump to instead of where he was going to jump out, and that was my problem. But I actually kind of like that. In the wild area, though, it happens too much. Like, and later on in Route 9, it happens. There's too many of them doing it.
and
Um,
Sneasels are just too fast.
yeah, and what is it called? I call it octopus guy. Grab talk. Is it grab talk? Grapok? The blue wrestler octopus that's pure fighting type. That
Yeah,
thing is they modeled that thing, its movements. It's a freaking HP Lovecraft nightmare.
yeah.
But he's really cool. I could not catch him. I kept either killing him. I kept killing him. It was really hard to catch him. I didn't actually get him later until I got the Lake of Rage. But at this point, you got the the bike with the balloons on it, so you can ride your bike through the water, which is very much needed to get to the Lake of Rage or over the Lake of Rage in the wild area where you can get things like dittos and stuff. And this is when I think me and you started really getting into like trying to breed. There's some high level Pokemon over there. I'll say at this point, having spent so much time in the wild area, it's kind of losing its shine a little bit because it doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason as to what Pokemon spawn there. There's Pokemon that I would think should be rare spawns like Golurk, and in the beginning of the game, there's like you might see one roaming the wild area, and it's high level, and I think that's fine. And it's next to like a ruin, so it kind of makes a little bit of sense. It's next to that like sunken castle spire in the beginning. But you cross the Lake of Rage, and under the right weather circumstances, there will be like 50 fucking Golurk bobbling around. Like there's too many. Like you don't need that many. Like all it does is let you power level. It doesn't like make the world feel more alive. It makes it feel more crowded. And I'll say the same. Like I thought Gyarados would be a rare spawn in the water there, but they're freaking everywhere. You can get a Gyarados no problem.
Yeah.
So I wish there was more of a distinction between rarer Pokemon, and like some of them didn't even seem to match. Like I don't know, like you have a shitload of Golurk, a shitload of Garbodor, and a shitload of oh crap, what's that one guy called? I'm blanking. Oh, Drapion. So you have all three of these high level mons, like, and there's just packed into very small grass areas. And I thought that was kind of great for leveling, but it doesn't make the world feel better. It makes it just feel too much, like too crowded. Like if there was like one or two Golurk around those Stonehenge looking things, I'd be totally cool. Because there is like one evolution that floats around there every once in a while. And I think that's cool. But you go across the lake there and there's a whole bunch of stuff based on the weather. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is overcrowded too. I mean, because as fast as you can travel from area to area, I mean, I feel like it's overpacked, and it kind of makes it kind of redundant.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that when it's all low level Pokemon like, Crabbies or whatever. Like I'm fine with that because there's a lot of baby crabs on the beach. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But when it's like a lot of high level dudes, it just seems out of place. Anyway, yeah, got some Dittos, did some breeding. I really went hard. Not at this point in my playthrough. Like I did some more of the gym stuff, but I did go hard on filling out the Pokédex, and I'm over 300 now. I put the game down for a couple days, but I'm gonna be playing some more today. But I went hard on that Pokédex, and it's a chore. It really is, but it's fun. Like at no point was I fatigued from catching new Pokemon because it's always, for me anyway, I'm a Dex player. It's always fun to fill the Dex. It's always fun to hatch, and thank God breeding doesn't take that long because I was hatching eggs left and right, filling out holes. But now I'm gonna need you, Wes, pretty soon to help me fill some more holes.
Yeah, I need to get back on there and start going to catch some version exclusives.
That sounds terrible, what I said. Wes? Filling holes.
Yep, I didn't jump in on that.
Speaking of which, I don't remember who started it, but there is an initiative for Christmas Day where kids all over the world will be getting, most likely, a lot of them will get a Nintendo Switch and Pokemon Sword and Shield to put in random trades good Pokemon, whether it's starters or late level. What's that?
Version exclusives.
Yeah, versions exclusives, absolutely, or even more sought after kind of late game Pokemon like Dino or Larvitar, things like that. Like nothing like crazy, like not your Zacian or Zamazenta, but just stuff like that, just to like as like a kind of Christmas gift for kids on Christmas Day. And I fucking love it. It's fucking awesome. I got a bunch of Dinos. I'm not gonna be on all day giving away 100 of them, but I'm gonna throw a bunch of them out there. And yeah, thanks for. Wait, did I get the Dino or did you get the Dino? No, you gave me the Larvitar. I got the Dino. So thank me for doing that. You're Santa Claus.
I gave you the Larvitar.
You gave me the Larvitar, which I have a Tyranitar, and I love him. Anyway, moving on back to the game. You go to Spikemuth, and I continue to absolutely love Team Yell. They are the most innocent of bad guys. They're not even bad guys. They're just...
And I love that Gym City. That was cool, too.
The city, I love the style of it, but I was very disappointed that there's, like, nothing to explore there. Like, it's just a 2D plane where you don't get to go... Like, I wanted to go throughout that whole city.
But they had the best invisible wall block ever.
Oh, you're right. A wonderful nod to Detective Pikachu with Cantonian Mr. Mime there, keeping you blocked away. That was awesome. A very nice nod. I really enjoyed that. But,
I mean, that was the best way ever to block a path, in my opinion. And all paths should be blocked like that.
you know what? I'm not even going I agree with you.
Instead of just having like the random person like saying, "No, you can't go down this street. There's no power or something." I mean, you put up Mr. Mime with the invisible wall.
You don't hit him in this game, but in like other games, like open world games, like Skyrim and stuff, eventually you hit like an invisible wall where you can't go anymore.
Yeah.
Like this is the only acceptable invisible wall to keep you from progressing.
Yeah.
I love that city. I just wish there was more to explore. There's nothing after you beat the gym leader Piers. There's literally nothing to do there. There's one Poke Center, and that's it, man. There's a guy you can trade an Obstagoon for a Cantonian Mr. Mime, and like that's really it. I will say Piers himself I like him as a character. I really do. But man, this game needs like some voice acting. Like the sound direction on Piers is bizarre because he's supposed to be like singing a rock song or whatever, but the music does not accurately portray that energy, and it just kind of falls flat on its face. It's kind of a bummer. What'd you think?
I actually thought he was a chick at first.
It's 2019. Don't matter. You are whatever you want to be.
Until she actually called him her brother, and I was like, oh, yeah.
I thought overall the experience in Spike Myth, I thought that was a great a break from the formula of the rest of the gyms where you go to the town, you do that challenge or whatever, and you fight the gym leader in these big things, because you're not in like a big arena, which I do love that, but I like that they broke it up a little bit. You're not in a big arena, you're not Dynamaxing to beat the guy. So I thought it was a nice break to the rest of the game there, getting to that point. Then you move on. There's some stuff that happens like just past the tunnel. There's allegedly more Dynamaxing Pokemon that Leon's gotta stop, which would have been really cool to see these Godzilla-esque Dynamax Pokemon like in the wild, like just wreaking havoc. That would have been really cool to see, but you're always there like after it's over.
For a cutscene or something, yeah.
Yeah, a cutscene. That's all you need. You don't need to like get stepped on by a fucking Beware that's Dynamax or something.
Something Pokemon's never been known for is to having cutscenes.
Right. I am really impressed with this game overall in terms of the direction it's going. It's definitely a step in the right direction as far as narratives go. It's not particularly well written compared to other RPGs, but I think it's definitely a growing step in the right direction towards making me give a damn about anything that happens in a Pokemon story. Because typically I do not care. And saying that I care about this story is a bit much, but it's definitely better, I feel like. Even though Hop's annoying, and there's little things here and there that I'm just kind of like, what, really? But last gym leader. By the way, Wes, did you finish the story?
No, I'm on the road to the end game challenges.
So you beat the last gym leader.
Yeah, I've gotten all the gym leader and all the gym badges.
Okay, so you're going to do the last tournament there to beat that part of the game.
Yes.
Okay, so that's probably where we'll stop then. So I don't know how to say his name, but Rahane, he is the last gym leader, the dragon guy. Let me just say, I love this battle because this was the first time I felt challenged. His gym challenge was, but before I get to it, his gym challenge was really underwhelming. You fight 3 of his apprentices, like in a castle keep, and it was just really underwhelming. But his fight specifically is pretty dope. I love his personality because like he's really nice, but then when he gets to battling, he's like in rage mode and he's just like almost manic with his way he looks. And as he throws Pokeballs and stuff, you see his little Rotom foam zip around and take selfies of him, which was a really nice touch, I thought. It was a very small thing, small detail, but I want to see more small details like that in battles to help them differentiate trainers. Like, they already kind of started to do it because main characters or gym leaders had different ways of, just starting the battle and throwing their Pokeballs. Even Beatty started off like he flipped his hair in like a really arrogant way, and then as you go on, he kind of changes. Like, I don't want to spoil it because you're getting to the end, so you'll see. But stuff like that, like even Hop changes throughout the game as it progresses. He changes the way he throws his Pokeball out. So it's a really, really small detail towards like character development, but it's there, and I noticed it, and I appreciate it. So yeah, that rain battle I thought was really epic. I love that when I changed the weather to my advantage, Rain took note of it in the battle and said so, like, hey, that was pretty smart of you to change the weather. Like, I really appreciate the small things like that. It feels more like a trainer battle instead of just 2 Pokemon duking it out and people standing behind them. It felt more alive, I guess. Uh,
More
but at this point, I went back to the wild area because I thought I was strong enough, and I finally caught that damn Como that kept fucking chasing me around the wild area. So I added him to my team, and he's still one of my mains. Como is an awesome, awesome Hawaii dragon, and I love him. What'd you think of that rain fight, though?
It was. Wait, no, I ain't got to the rain fight yet.
That's the last gym leader.
Oh wait. Oh yeah.
That's like Leon's rival.
Yeah, the double battles. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. His
It was good. I mean, it wasn't my favorite of the match. I mean, I did like the. I mean, I still like the Team Yell gym leader. That I still like that whole setup, but that was just my favorite. But the fact that they.
I think that one would have been. I would have liked that one more. I like that it was different, and I like that it was part of his town's history and his character. That hey, we're this poor town that doesn't have an arena, so we can't Dynamax. And he personally doesn't like Dynamaxing because it doesn't feel. It kind of feels like cheating, like it's not a pure Pokemon battle. I appreciate that his gym challenge reflected that, but I think because fighting him was so easy that it didn't like if it had been like challenging, like legitimately challenging, I think that would have probably been my favorite as well. But Rain was underwhelming in all aspects except the actual fight itself, which is where I think it counts the most. The actual fight itself was epic and it was so much fun. Like he had me on the ropes for a minute.
Oh, I mean, well, his fight just was really easy for me. It didn't.
I struggled. I managed to be. I think I only had a couple Pokemon left, and I was on his last guy. And I'll say, like, even if you have like a level 100, their dudes will still like deal a lot of damage to you when they hit their attacks. They hurt.
I think I only have one level 70 and another one that was level 65, and the rest were in the 60s. But he's still.
I'm gonna circle back around to what you're saying right now. But that Rahane, like it felt epic. Like I was in almost desperation mode. I went Phantom Force on Golurk, and that landed the killing blow. And it made for it just was it was very fun and relieving, and I was legitimately like happy, excited, like hey, this was kind of challenging. I'm glad that it was, and I beat it, so I felt accomplished. I was gonna put a pin in that, and like Rahane was the first time I struggled a bit, and then I struggled at the end of the tournament, which you're about to get to. And then there's a couple other places where I really struggled in battles. But it seems like you and Taylor have no problem, and other people too have no problems just breezing through the whole game. And I'm like, what the fuck am like? So that's a testament to how bad I am at Pokemon training, apparently. Because I'll have a level 100 Bolton, he'll get hit by a neutral move, and he'll still lose like half his health. And I'm like, what the hell?
Certain like team setups are just good, and if you go with those team setups, then you're golden. And
well, I don't have like weak Pokemon. Like I said, I'm rolling with like Golurk and Komao, like strong dudes. I got Bolton in there. I mainly got him because I wanted to paralyze wild Pokemon, but he still hits like a freight train with his wild charge, which also hurts me. That might be a part of it, but it just seems like I struggled more than the rest of you. Like you guys are like way better.
I know my Haxorus, like he just decimates things, even if they're not weak against him. He just kind of decimates. And I mean, there's certain encounter, like sometimes I'll run into something that he doesn't do well against, and then then I'll switch out to another one, and then he does. Then
I dumped Haxorus in favor of Komao. I just love him.
Toxicity. He is insanely. I mean, he's a little bit like weak defensively, but he can dish out some damage.
I also boxed my Toxicity after I got him.
Yeah, because I'm talking like, and I mean, it's not as good in the team battles because a lot of his stuff are AoE moves and can't hit your own opponents. But like when he's in a solo battle and you use Boom Burst, and like Boom Burst is like a normal move, and it's 140 attack power. It can, I mean, even if they're not super effective, most of the time it'll one shot things around his level.
I'm just curious. You got your Switch nearby?
Yeah, that's next to me.
Grab it. I want to see who's in your team right now.
Well, let me take it out of its case.
That's fine. Is that a fancy new Charizard case, baby?
Yes, it was the gift.
Woo! I got Wes a Charizard case for his Switch. No more just keeping it all willy-nilly in his glove box container.
Okay, what's in my team?
I can't. I'm going to sound like such a noob. What button is it to get to the menu?
Y or X?
Yeah, it's not working. I'm sitting here hitting the button and nothing's happening.
X ain't working?
It's not working. My controller, not working.
Well, does your controller power it up? Because your controllers have their own battery levels.
There it is. It took it a minute to wake up. God, that's another thing. Switch drives me nuts.
You have to hit the same button multiple times in a row on your controller to wake it up.
Well, it worked when I entered the game. I had to hit the button 3 times, and then it didn't work in game for a minute. That is a small complaint I have with this. This console drives me insane. But I got my team up.
I don't think this is the setup this isn't the setup that I go with my team. But right now, I mean, I start off with I got a Haxorus, and he's beastly. Then I got he's level 73.
Okay.
And then I got a Toxicity. He's level 70. And then I have an Inteleon, and he's level 70. Then I have an Oranga Guru, and he's level 77.
Ooh, you're gonna have to make me one of those.
Then I also have a Cinescorch who's level 65. And then I have a Larvitar that's level 1, but that was because I was hatching eggs, and he's typically not in my team. But
right, but who would that one be in your team that's
typically it would be it would typically be Shinotic.
Shinotic. That's your little alien dude.
The alien crown mushroom looking thing.
Yeah. So at this point, I've left Runerigus in the dust too, even though he's probably my favorite early game main. There were just guys that did some things better than him, and so I kind of boxed him for a while. Right now I'm rolling. Keep in mind, I beat the game, so I have a level 89 Zacian. Really, really hard to argue. Like, it's a really strong Pokemon. We'll get into that later. But the next episode we'll get into that. But my team at this late game, ignoring the Zacian thing. Yeah, I'll just go back to my team there. Bolton was level 100. Colossal he's level 78, so I think he was probably around level 70 at the time. Rolled with Colossal. Also, another one of my favorites from this gen. My Komo is level 67. At the time, I think he was probably around 65 or something. I also caught a Bergmite on Route 9, which I evolved to level 67. He was probably around 65 or so when I fought Rain. I knew he had the Dragon type, so he actually, without him, I probably would have been screwed. So, Avalugg, aces, baby. My Golurk's level 70. He was probably 65, 7, 8, somewhere around there when I was going through that last challenge. So it sounds like I'm kind of underleveled. I was underleveled at the time compared to you.
I think your team was underleveled. I think you just had 2 highs and then the rest were underleveled.
It kind of seems that way.
Because I'm spreading my candies around a little bit more.
Well, I didn't get access to those candies until after I got the Nintendo Online account. Like, I just didn't get as many. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was doing it the old-fashioned way. Excuse me. I also had my Meowstic level 70 now. At the time, it was probably around level 65 when I was going through the challenge there. Also, my all-time favorite Pokemon ever. And I think that's going to round out my team. I don't know if that's 5 or 6, but I typically ran with like 5 mains, and the 6th one I kind of just swapped out as I thought were necessary for the most part.
Most people do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Uh,
for for most of the game, I brought the Corviknight because Corviknight. I think Corviknight's a cool Pokemon, but I mean, I started getting into where I wasn't using them much in battle, and so I switched them out with something else.
Same for Galissapod and Runigerus, um, and some of the other ones as well. For me, but something I'm working on. A big weak spot for me is I do not have like a good grass attacker, so I've been working on a Leafeon.
Well, see that's where I have my Shiinotic. He's grass and fairy, so he's
Yeah,
got a really good fairy move, and then like 3 grass moves, and
I
he's
got I got one of those late game. There was one just wandering around the wild area, so I got one that way. But
he
this
was
is
the first thing I got in the wild was I got a Morlul from like a little 1-star raid, and
yeah.
he's like pretty much stayed with me. Same with my Haxorus, so I got him as an Axel, and he just kind of stayed.
That's how I got my Yamask. So always fun when you get like an attachment to an early game Pokemon that way. It makes them feel more personal.
Yeah,
Um,
I tend to stick with the ones I catch early on and start using in the gym battles, except for like a few that are like your everyday Pokemon.
a
Like I,
show.
like I still keep the starter on my team even though I don't like him. I haven't switched him out with another water Pokemon.
Oh, shizzle. Let's see here. What's my Pokédex at right now?
Though
What's your?
I have been working on a Seismitoad that I'm probably going to switch my Inteleon out for.
I'm sitting at 313.
Oh God, I'm way behind you. Is
Uh,
that or scene?
we're both way behind Taylor. She is at. I think she's almost done. Like the only thing she needs are some version exclusives and some legendaries. Because last I talked to her, I don't think she. I think she was in the same boat as you. She beat the gym challenge, but she was not beat with the game. So let's
So
move on.
are you talking about caught or seen? Because I've caught 200 and seen 293.
I'm talking about caught.
Well, I've caught 200.
Uh, so let's move on. After beating Rain, you have to go to the last city, which is basically London. Let's be honest. Um, I don't want to get too much into it because you haven't experienced it yet. It's different for sure. The game carries on this side narrative of the league commissioner and Oleana doing their thing with the energy crisis. That's not really a crisis. And I will go ahead and say that the last thing that you're about to walk into is a tournament, and it features a tournament of all the gym leaders, and it puts you and Hop, and it's like you. It's supposed to be all the gym trainers that made it this far in the gym challenge, plus the gym leaders. So it's
Yeah.
a big tournament. You're gonna have to fight your way through. It's actually really cool. I really like the system, and after you beat all of it, you can kind of like the Elite Four. You can go back and do it all over again for rewards. Um, and I really like the tournament format. I think it's interesting, and I think it's a good way to keep battling those fun gym leaders. Like when I went through a second time, I had to face Nessa and B again, as well as a random gym challenger. So it was really cool. I love that format. I hope they, man, I don't want them to do the exact same thing for the next game, but I really like the iteration this time around for that.
I want more cutscenes and voice acting for the next game. That's what I want.
I want voice acting for sure.
More,
Uh,
more voice acting.
more voice acting. For the love of God, it needs it. It really needs it. And some better sound direction. I can live with the Pokemon cries being sort of digitized. I can live with that, you know? It'd be nice if they actually sounded, a bit more real, but I understand if you have 800 Pokemon in the game or whatever. Well, this one's like 400 some, right? Is it 400 some or 800? I can't remember.
90 something with like I think 60 or 60 or something coming later.
Yeah, so I can get why you can't have like a voice file for each individual one. It's a Switch. It's not a freaking Xbox One X or PlayStation 5, whatever. But yeah, like digitized cries, I'll live with. But yeah, voice acting, it needs it. It really needs it. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Fire Emblem Three Schools. It had a ton of cutscenes, a ton of voice acting, and honestly better graphics in a lot of places.
If we're talking about wish list, I think that the console is sophisticated enough that if they had spent more time on the game, they could have gotten the entire Pokédex in this game.
Well, I think the Pokemon's problem is they live by the thing that they got to do one game a year no matter what, and that skews games' qualities.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they had more time and they wanted to, I think that they could have fit the whole dex in this game.
But that applies to more than just Pokemon. That even goes as far as your Call of Duties and everything like that. That's why a lot of times things feel reused and they don't revamp much. Same with your Maddens and stuff like that. That's why you only get very limited changes between the games because they're pumping them out every single year.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. With you all the way. So that's where we're going to leave off right here. We're going to leave off at the tournament. Wes, you're going to beat the game within the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I should be able to beat it this week.
Yeah, and next episode, we'll get Taylor on for sure. Get her impressions on the game as well. It'd be nice to have her on the show. People that don't know Taylor know that she's the one that started Let's Die, the His vs. Hers Guide to the Apocalypse, the podcast. Shameless plug. Hashtag baby. Which, by the way, check out that show. It's fantastical.
Yep.
We got a Santa Claus versus Santa Claus episode coming up with Dava, and it's going to be fun. What else?
Like
yeah, so expect Taylor as soon as we get her on here. We'll have it. We'll go over the post tournament that you're at right now, and then the post game story, which exists and is a thing, and it will blow your brains apart because you're like, what the fuck is happening? Because you think it might be over, but that shit ain't over. And we'll get to that. We'll talk about legendaries like Zacian and Zamazenta and the Big Bad. We'll go over all that stuff. Battle Tower, all those late game fun things. And thank you so much for listening. If you wouldn't mind, please leave us a rating and review. It's very, very nice. Wes.
Yes.
Got anything you need to plug?
Happy birthday to the Pokemon.
Happy birthday to my mom. It's her birthday today. I'm going to have this episode finished and uploaded today, the day we record it. Happy birthday to my mom. I love you. Actually, let's sing happy birthday to my mom. She listens to everything. You ready?
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. You're not singing birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mom. Happy birthday to you. You suck, Wes. Oh, real quick. I forgot. We got so tied up in Sword and Shield stuff, we forgot to talk about Pokemon Go. So, Community Day yesterday, how'd you do? I
did not really bother, honestly. I brought it up a couple times and didn't get no shine. It just didn't appeal to me this year, this event.
I will say we went to the mall, and when we went for Totodile earlier in the year, it was insane how many, like, they really fucked up the spawns. Not a lot spawns there. Like, I definitely did not catch, and if I had started with 0 candies, I did not get enough of different Pokemon to evolve them all the way. I absolutely did not, even if I pine-upped everything. I did get 8 shinies, which seems to be a lot compared to the rest of our group. Including back-to-back Torchic shinies, which is weird.
But it just didn't appeal to me because where we've done all the community days, it just we have most.
But it's nice. It's nice for new people like Andrea, who's been
that have missed one, that have missed a community day. Yeah, it's great
Yeah,
for that. Are we?
Andrea and Matt. Andrea's been on the show. She started playing late in the year, so it's nice for her to be able to get a few that she didn't get earlier in the
Yeah,
year. We have a
right.
few friends like that.
But one that attended all of them is just kind of. It's a good one to take off.
Yeah. I think it's fine, except the spawns. Like, there's just not enough. There really just is not enough. Maybe it's different in a big city where there's like 1,000 stops, but for us in the mall there's like 3 stops in a gym, and we just didn't get very much. Like, I'm not going back to the mall today. I'm probably just going to stay in town and just mill about around the post office or something.
Yeah.
There's more Pokemon Go news, but I would advise you to check out Pokemon Go Radio, friends of the show. They're going to go in more in depth of that. We're going to keep, and we're not doing a random Pokemon obviously today or the next time because we're still going to be on this Sword and Shield grind. So, yeah, that's all. I just wanted to check in on how you were doing with Community Day.
Yep, that's pretty much taking a break from this one.
Yeah. Well, let's call it. We'll do next year. We're also going to do like predictions for what we think's coming to Pokemon Go next year. But we'll do that probably next episode. Within the next 2 episodes, we'll do that. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Well, everybody, again, thanks for listening. I know I already went through all the end credits and stuff, but thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great day. Good luck catching all them shinnies today. And happy birthday, Mom. Love you. Bye. Say bye, Wes.
Have a good one.
And don't forget, after you catch them all, Darkrai will complain that he's not in the game at all. Bye.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave us a rating and a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's Die, the His vs. Hers Guide to the Apocalypse, and Pokemon After Darkrai. Check our description for links to all the things, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and our TeePublic store at teepublic.com/user/teamcyanide. Also, there's a link to our new YouTube that has the back catalog of all of our episodes. That's it. See you later. Bye.